was nice that I speak.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the final tribal council of Survivor Bedarra Island. Woo! Congratulations, Jay, Joanna, and Mihi. You have made it as far as you can in this game, and over the next hour-ish, the 9 most recent people who you had a hand either directly or indirectly in voting out of this game will be discussing various aspects of your game to try and help all 9 of them decide who is most fit to win this game. So we will start. Each person will have 3 minutes to give their opening statement, and then we will go to the Game Changers style, Tumblr Survivor Game Changers style final tribal council, where 3 jurors who the 3 of you agreed played the best strategic game will have a round table on the strategy of this season, and then the 3 players who you 3 agreed had the best social games will have a discussion about the outplay and social portion of this game, and then the last 3 jurors who you 3 feel you need to most explain your games to will have a discussion about the last part, the outlast portion. So we're going to start with opening statements. Each of you get 3 minutes for that. Let's just go in alphabetical order. So Jay, your 3 minutes is on.
I can't believe my parents screwed me over just by putting me first alphabetically. Hi. I just want to start out by saying thank you to Monty for hosting. You pretty much hosted this entire game yourself from the time Regan left, so congrats. I also want to thank the jury for playing. This honestly, truly has been one of my favorite games to play, despite some emotional moments, but those were few and far between. I had a really good time playing. I think the foundation to my game really was at the beginning of the game and at the merge when I met some more new people. I got my social and strategic bonds together really quickly, like with Nihi, Linus, and Pat right at the beginning. Linus eventually became someone I really, really needed in this game. He gave me insight into the other alliance. Nihi and Pat, they helped me get to the end. Obviously, how to cut Pat, but that's going to be its own discussion, I bet. And from the merge, I talked to Joanna, and she the same helped me get to where I'm standing today. Especially because, sorry, I'm very bad at opening statements, but another foundation of my game was along with the social bonds being created at the beginning. And when I first could meet Joanna at the merge, I gave people, like my goodwill. I gave Linus an idol piece. I told Billy that I was going to have his back, and I had his back until I couldn't have his back anymore. So some of those checks I couldn't keep out there. I had to avoid those checks. But I look forward to answering more structured questions than an opening statement. I'm good. Don't want to ramble on for too long, Monty.
All right. So next up, let's have Joanna. Your 3 minutes are started.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I would just like to start by thanking everybody for playing with me. I think that playing these games are such wonderful experiences, and I've enjoyed playing every single one that I have, and I've enjoyed this one tremendously. And since I know you don't want to listen to me rambling on about how much I love playing these games, I think you want to know how I play it, so I'll get into that. So I'll start by saying that I play a rather loyal game, because in my life outside of Survivor, I value loyalty and honesty tremendously. And so I find it hard to break my promises to people. And that's evident through how I played this game, as I stayed loyal to Pat throughout the entire game. I never voted for him, even though I was pressured many times to do so. And I never voted for Nihi or Jay, even because I was aligned with them. And many other people in my alliances, I never voted for them because I felt loyal to them and I didn't want to break their trust. So I talked to so many people when I tried to keep Pat in the game. I talked to Nihi and I talked to Jay, and I tried to sway people. Unfortunately, things did not go our way, as I'm here and Pat's not. But I can honestly say that I've never written his name down. And then also, instead of going towards Nihi, which I could have easily have done. I pushed Pat away from voting Nihi and swayed it towards Krista instead, keeping my bond with Nihi and keeping that loyalty between us. I managed to stay loyal to the people in my alliance, while inside the alliance, people were turning on each other. Coming into the game, I knew that I didn't have the strongest outplay section, meaning in the short version that I suck at comps. So that kind of left me to rely on my social game. And from that standpoint, I believe I did do pretty well in my social game. I was not as active in the beginning of the game as I probably should have been, and I do apologize for that. But straight from the get-go, I managed to make a relationship with August, and through him create a relationship with Andrew and move forward from there. And I feel like I knew most of the time what was going on in the tribe, but I think that where everything showed the most is the fact that I am the last newbie standing, and I'm here when coming into the merge, the returnees could have easily picked off the newbies. So I would also like to point out the fact that I received a single vote, and that was from Krista, which she threw on me, and not believing that it even had any effect. So I would just like to thank everybody once again for the time, and I would like to thank Monty for the season. And so I look forward to answering all of your questions to the best of my ability. I'm good now. Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, Nihi, your 3 minutes are started.
Oh gosh, I like Eric said, I want to just thank you guys for putting up with me. This game has kind of been really crazy. I did not expect to go the way to go how it did. I feel like I played the game how it should have been played. I played it, and I don't know the perception of the jury if they're mad at me for how I played it, but I wasn't trying to anger anyone. I wasn't trying to upset people. I just wanted to play the game. And pre-merge, I definitely felt like I was in the most toughest position because I didn't know anybody really. And then pre-merge just went by so fast that I formed all the bonds that I needed. Every single person I needed to form with made it to the merge. And then with those bonds, being Andrew, I was added to an alliance with the people that I did not have bonds with, Joanna, Patrick, and Waleed. And from that alliance, as you can tell, kind of control almost the entire part of merge. And gosh, I can just say that my loyalty at that point was to that alliance. And the people I had bonds with before that alliance, I wanted to actually keep them as far as I could. That also benefited my game. I understand that the Billy and Chelsea situation, that was not amazing. I understand. I apologize for how the events went down, but it was at the end of the day a strategic game move. I want to say on my social part, I didn't made myself have so many reasons to come after me, and no one really came after me. Joanna even said it herself that they could have came after me, yet they didn't. Like, Patrick wanted to go after me, and she convinced Patrick not to go after me. Also, quickly, I convinced my entire alliance, without even trying hard, to give me their gems. Joanna gave me her gem. She had 3. I had 1. She gave it to me. Only reason I had 1 was because Waleed gave me his when Jay forced him to be evicted. It's like people just kept giving me idols and advantages, and I had so many advantages that helped me. Though I did not need to use them, I used them as a strategic purposes to get other things out of the way. Hopefully that can come out more later. I know I ramble too much. I'm done.
All right. And that concludes our opening statements. We will get on Andrew, Linus, and Patrick, who you 3 agreed had the best strategic games on the jury. And so we'll just give them a minute to show up. I know at least one of them is here. I think 2. Who knows about the 3rd? So
Can I go run and grab a tissue really quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, be right back.
Get me an aspirin while at it.
FTC on the day of Boston Pride 2018. This is homophobic.
That's me.
Yeah, Monty.
Ooh. I'm still stressed. I'm shaking a little bit. Un poquito.
Me too.
You can't see it, but I am shaking.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm saying hello.
Oh,
to
a shout out to Dennis.
Call. Oh, shout out to our 4 viewers. Yeah.
I think one of them is Dennis. He wished me good luck.
I love, and 3. And we're down to 3.
Okay,
Great
Dennis, leave.
He got a shout out and dipped.
No, he just messaged me. He said heart. Also, shout out to Shay. He's also watching. We have figured out 2 of our 3 viewers. And neither of them were in this game.
Okay, so Andrew said he's coming. But where is he?
Should we do a different section first? At Andrew.
And Linus, it shows Linus online.
At Linus. Please. No Pat.
Pat's MIA. Okay, Andrew's trying to get on.
Ow. Oh, I have chapstick in my back pocket. I keep forgetting about this.
God.
Every day.
So I went to Boston Pride today. It was very fun.
I had the ACT today.
It's very
And then my
not
cousins came over.
fun. I took the SAT.
Done nothing today.
Nikki, did you take the ACT or the SAT?
I took the SAT.
It's kind of easy. Kind of.
I
I got, what did I get on? I got like a 1600.
A 1600 is the highest.
No. I took it before it changed.
Oh.
The highest was 2200. Because I think my year was the last year that did the old one with the writing.
Shay's making fun of my accent.
You have an accent?
I'm offended.
An accent. I can't tell. I don't think you have an accent.
Making fun of the way I said back pocket.
Oh.
It's a very, I guess I don't have an accent in the way that it's a very heavy Midwestern because I dropped my A's. So it's bag and bag sounds similar. That's what I've learned.
You learn something new every day.
Monty, yell at them.
I am. Andrew's learning the difficulties of mobile hangouts.
Yes.
Do you have to send him an email?
Yeah.
Are you making sure that the other portions are here?
The other portions haven't acknowledged me, so no.
So this is an interesting final tribal council then.
Well, I can't believe Joanna's going to win because her opening statement was the best.
Okay.
Andrew.
Hey.
Andrew figured it out.
Hello.
Yeah. Like what
Yell
am I
at
doing?
Linus.
Linus,
Hey.
Is Linus coming?
At him.
So what do I do? Did I miss anything important, or
I don't think so.
no,
All
we
right.
are.
We're waiting.
I think
love
you
how I'm-
are the something important.
I love how I'm just, like seeing in the darkness. Like you see how like half my face is like just obscured. I'm like some like anime supervillain right now.
Andrew's here to murder us.
Yeah. I need to get like
That's
the
his
cat
job.
in my lap. I need to like start like petting it, all that. I'm about to murder like a few of you.
I would prefer not to get murdered, but
Yeah, it's not in my plans.
respectable. As long as it's nice murdering, I'll be happy.
Night.
I
have a hole in my
I have
sock.
heard that Linus is going to be here in a few. Not from Linus, but I have heard that. So
Okay.
Wait, am I the only guy here?
Yeah, so far.
Oh, sweet.
I can't believe Andrew's the only vote that's going to matter.
Yeah.
Andrew decides the winner.
Any word on Patrick as well?
Chris and I saw in like the jury chat. I think me and her are
Yeah.
like the only ones on.
Queen.
Hmm.
Queen of dedication.
Right? Ugh. Like freaking like just
all right, I'll give him one more minute, and then if not, Andrew's going to just.
I'm gonna ask the only question.
He's gonna murder us on his own.
Yeah.
We're going to have a nice 20-minute discussion with just Andrew.
All by
Actually-
myself.
So how's life?
It's pretty chill.
That's
You know.
good.
If
Are
I
you
close out,
happy?
wait, hold up. If I close out the app, like, will it?
I wouldn't test it.
Yeah, don't.
All right.
Are you happy that the Laura Alliance is in the final three?
I am happy about that. I'd be even happier if I were there, but
That wasn't
well.
our choice.
It wasn't our choice.
Like, I'm confused about that still. Am I allowed like start asking stuff now, or should I wait for everyone else?
Monty is on just talking to someone.
Yeah. I'd wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait until Monty gives you the heads up.
Yeah, just wait for the go ahead.
I mean, I guess it's not really a question for them, but it's more like a question for Linus. Or
Jury
Whatever.
questioning itself.
I still have no idea what the hell went on, but oh well.
What can I say?
Hey, who's that?
Linus, hi.
Linus.
Hi, Linus. Oh, Linus.
All right,
I
so
was just talking
since
about
not a lot of people are here, we're just going to open it up for everyone to come and be part of all the discussion. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
So-
fun.
we can start with this. There will still only be 20 minutes per section. We're going to cap it pretty hard at that. So
Wait,
this
hold
first,
up. I'm
Wait, so
seeing
who
my
else is
charger
there?
real quick.
Do you know who else is coming? Or
Krissa and Waleed are online, and Billy is here, but he can't speak. So
Hi, Billy.
Hi,
All
Bill.
right.
he's not here, but he's
Hey, Billy.
If he has a question, can he ask it in like a chat?
yeah,
Yeah.
he'll ask it, and I can read it for him.
Yo,
So-
Monty, I'm gonna be back like real quick. I just have to get my charger. I'm doing
Okay.
my phone. All right.
How's it going, Linus?
Nice work, Final Three. Let's put that out there before the thing starts.
Yeah, I don't think the people are here are the people that are going to be angry. Except Waleed, but
I'm better at all three of you. Be
I've already-
prepared for a
I've already
firestorm.
mentally prepared for Waleed.
I've mentally prepared for nothing.
Me neither.
I am prepared to cry because I take confrontation very well.
I don't think
Like
you're
anybody
as
raises their voice
reliable.
slightly and I just tears. So I'm sorry.
Let's turn
Alright,
my
once
camera
we
off,
have-
but I don't even know how.
Andrew, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. My camera got turned off because low battery, whatever.
That's okay.
Yeah, you can stay off cam. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All right. So since we have 2 people here, we are going
Two
to.
whole people.
More people are coming. I just want to get this moving along because
Yeah.
2.5 because
anticipation.
Billy's around.
Waiting. Yeah. All right. So this first
There's
section.
Krista.
Hey, Krista.
Welcome. All right. So this first. This first section is outwit. So that is the strategy that you presented, how you made other people part of that strategy, all of your specific moves that you made that were like how you played your game. So we can open it up. It's roundtable discussion. We're going to go for 20 minutes or until you guys are satisfied. 20 minutes is on the clock.
All right, so I think there's like a general consensus with the jury where like none of us are really that impressed with how any of you played the game. So I just wanted to like ask, how are we wrong? Like, and more importantly, how are we right when we say that?
So you're asking.
Well, I'm basically
Okay. I think I get
I'm
it.
saying like, need me to explain it or are you good?
No, I think I get it.
Explain it.
Alright.
I couldn't hear you.
I don't get it.
Okay, what I'm asking is that, like, you know, seeing on the jury, like, watching these people, like, get voted out one after another, I didn't really see too much strategy behind any of that. Like, normally, like, when I do an org, I just get, like, this feeling, like, wow, this guy is, like, dominating. I didn't really get that vibe. I felt like there just wasn't that much going on. Like, how am I wrong?
Well, I can say that. I see what you mean by like let's say Linus, Carson, Billy vote out one by one.
Yeah.
That was not simple. You can just ask Patrick, Joanna, Jay. That was not simple deciding who wanted each to go because every day was basically which one has the idol, who's gonna tell, who are they gonna play the idol on, because they all kept saying that they had pieces. So it wasn't simple. It was basically we're gonna tell someone you're gonna vote this person, but then we vote this person, which is the Linus vote. The Carson vote was different because I think I forget if it was Jay or Patrick that wanted Billy out on the Carson vote. But no. It was Jay and Joanna. It was Jay and Joanna who wanted Billy out. Me and Patrick wanted Carson out. And at the end of the day, we got our way and we got for Carson. And then Billy was
Sorry, just to add to that a little bit, it was like, I don't want to say hours, but it was practically hours of back and forth discussing on trying to figure out what was the best move to move our alliance forward.
Well,
So
yeah.
it wasn't like it was a dictatorialship or anything. It was like we were trying to figure out who we thought was a threat to us and who was the best move to vote out going forward and stuff like that. So it was like a lot of discussion, a lot of thinking and thought went into each vote that we did.
And Andrew,
Yeah.
to answer your question, I think there are things I did right and things I definitely did wrong. I do have the self-awareness to admit that the Waleed vote wasn't my shining moment.
That was messy.
I got what I wanted. The why I wanted it to happen is less messy. I didn't want to have to turn on Linus and Billy and Carson. Well, I wasn't really working with Carson, but that alliance, just yet I didn't want to make it clear, even though it might have already been clear, that I didn't really want to go to the final 3 or 2 with them. And I felt like Waleed was the safest option to not have to worry about it because he had already gotten in the fight with Billy. I have the self-awareness to admit that voting out Pat with the tiebreaker, it was a 50-50 shot. Either he would have been okay with it was a game, or he wouldn't have liked it. And I had to make a decision whether to I had to make a decision of whether to do it or not, and I had to just let him decide on how he thought about it, because it was a 50-50 shot on how he thought. But I think the things I did right were, especially once I hit the merge, I immediately went to Joanna. I was hosting her in flops. I really wanted to meet her. I had heard people wanted her out, and I wanted to work with her. So I went to her immediately. We talked for quite a while, and we developed a bond. And later on in the merge, when I proposed an alliance of me and Nikki and Krissa, and I felt like I was definitely the glue between the two of them, because Nikki would always come to me and be like, talk to Krissa for me, talk to Krissa for me.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say about that?
About what? Like, what do you feel like we did wrong or right?
What did you do right? What did you do wrong? And why? All right, you can go.
Well, what I think I did right was I put myself definitely in a position where I think what I wanted mattered. I don't want to sound like wrong saying that, but what I felt like did matter, because what I wanted, basically every round went right except for you going, Andrew, and Waleed going. And I made things happen to benefit myself, but not only myself, but the alliance, and more in particular Jay, because Jay was my ride or die. So what I didn't do anything to piss off Jay, but towards the end, I knew that Jay could have been the sole person to cut me, which is where the tiebreaker comes in, because I got the tiebreaker for not voting at Waleed's eviction. Because after that, at that point, Waleed was going home. There was nothing I could do about it. He screwed himself in what he said. So I decided to not vote, and I got the extra vote. And I used that extra vote to force a tie, because there was legit no reason. There was no reason to use it. But the tiebreaker that Jay had could have been used at Final Four. That was scary. You don't know what's going to happen. It could have been 2-2, and he would have cut it and sent me home, because he kept talking about how he wanted to go to the end with Krissa. And then on another day, I want to go to the end with Joanna. Then another day, I think I could beat Krissa. Then it's like it was back and forth. So if he had the chance to go with Krissa and Joanna, he would have took it. So I forced the tie, and I made him break the tie. Now, he didn't have to, because I was going to vote out Patrick anyway on the revote, but he did. So
just a little.
Can I? I kind of wanted to interject on Nikki's thing.
Yeah, Jay, I was gonna ask you anyways. Why did you feel the need to use your tiebreaker there?
I felt the
Like,
need
why is
to
it
use the
important?
tiebreaker to pretty much exert the power I had over the game. I didn't want to use it at the Final Four. At that point, I was secure that I wanted to go to the end with Nihi, and I wanted to go to the end with one of Joanna and Krissa. And at that point, I felt Krissa was actually a very big threat to win because people love Krissa. And I had made a promise to Joanna that I would not vote her out, no matter what. And I intended to stick to my promise with Joanna, and I intended to stick by Nihi, because there were people I turned my back on in this game, like Pat and like Billy, and I didn't want to come to the end with like a trail of blood behind me. I wanted to show that I was loyal to a few people in this game.
Okay.
Can I ask something? Nihi, just your extra vote, was that the last round you could use it anyways?
Um,
Because I'd heard mixed things on that.
They didn't know. They thought
Yeah,
it was final
he
six.
told us so round before.
And that's what I thought too. Monty told me, I thought Monty told me final six, so I told everybody final six. And then I asked Monty, wait, do I have it for final five? And he said, yes, you do. And I didn't tell anyone I had it, other than Joanna. Like an hour before, I told Joanna what was happening so that I can make sure that she voted for Krissa so that it would tie.
And I did know Nihi was going to tie it. I thought he was going to tie it by throwing his vote.
Yeah, that's what he thought. He thought I was going to like just
So either way.
Yeah, but like there's no harm to you in using the extra vote because that was the last round you could anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a strategical purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, but we
get why you did it. I was just wondering, like, it could have still been a benefit in a different way, or if that was your only time to play it, so there was like no downside to using it.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt it was kind of like extra, honestly.
It was extra.
I mean, I think it was a good move.
I think because you can't really know what Jay was going to do. It was a good power of the tiebreaker, so it was best to break that tiebreaker so that at least going to the final four, you can have at least the chance to make it to the final three without having to worry about a tiebreaker sending you home. But like I said again, he didn't have to use it because now that I realized that me, Joanna, and him would have just re-voted and would have been 2-1 and Patrick would have still gone home.
And I did use it to want to exert the power that I had because I didn't want to just let it go to waste. And if Nihi had decided he wanted me to use my extra vote, or he would punish, or not my extra vote, my tiebreaker power, and he would punish me for not using it and vote out Krissa, then I'm just up shit's creek without a paddle. And one of my closest allies was just gone. And Pat would be still there, and I would definitely probably be facing Pat here if I made it to the end, and I did not want to face Pat. Pat was out at that. Whatever. I don't know. I didn't want to face Pat.
Fair enough.
Can I talk?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
I had a question for Joanna, but if she wants to answer
Yeah,
it.
no, go ahead. You can ask it. No big deal.
Oh, no, if it's related to that vote, you can go first.
Oh, I just wanted to kind of jump back to what Andrew was saying before about like things that we did wrong or stuff. And I would like to admit that I did make a whole bunch of mistakes. I'm still a very new player to these types of games, and I would like to say that I didn't really come into this game with a set in stone strategy. I wanted to be as flexible as possible, and I wanted to rely more heavily on bonds that I had made, because I feel like making bonds with people through these experiences is something that's very special, and there's something that I value doing. So that's kind of what I relied on, maybe a little too heavily. And I feel like my biggest mistake in this game was giving my 3 pieces to Nihi instead of having him give his 1 piece to me. But at that time, I felt like that I could not hold on to an idol without being so incredibly anxious that would take over pretty much everything else I was working so hard to do. So I decided that I was going to let him take it, knowing that he had it, and that I knew that he had the idol, and I knew what was a part of the idol. Although I regretted it multiple times after doing so, I felt like that was the best move for what I could have done at the moment. And although I kind of regret it now, it's what I did and I can't go back on it. So that's what I'd like to say for that.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
Can I ask my question now?
Of course.
Cool. So, I don't think everyone feels the same way, but Joanna, I kind of feel like you went to the end with the two strongest players in the game, like out of everyone. I was really impressed by Jay and Nihi's games, and like I think strategically, everyone kind of on each side did the same thing, just kind of stuck to their alliance. It wasn't a very dynamic game in that way, but I think there were threats because they were the two who were really talking to the other side. Like every day, I'd get a message from both of them. And whereas like talking to you, I felt it was more kind of forced conversations if we had to. But anyways, on to the strategic portion. Like, what made you think it was a good idea to go with these two to the end?
Well, I feel like that the reason why I went with these two is because I had made promises. I made a promise, especially to Jay, that I would not go for him, and I trusted him, and I trusted Nihi. And I feel like because I had such a close bond with Jay, and I felt like that I could not turn my back to him. He was almost my only option in that point. I will admit that I did think about turning on Nihi a couple of times because I do believe that he is a huge threat in this game, and I think that he played a great game. But I feel like it was a great risk for me to come to the end with these two. But also keeping the people in the game that were kept in the game, I was almost guaranteed final 3 from about final 5 or something around those lines. Like I had final 3 deals with a lot of people because I knew a lot of people could feel like they could beat me. And so I felt like it was a way to get me here. And there was ways that I could have played a better game and gotten myself in a better position in this pipe, but it was a way to get me here. And I felt like I trusted them. And these are people that I had worked with, and these are people that I like. And I would rather be here with people that I worked with through the entire game than put someone that I really do enjoy on the jury by stabbing in the back and bringing someone else along. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it does. I guess also just as a follow-up, did you, since it sounded like you didn't think maybe these would be the easiest people to beat, did you feel yourself like you were playing maybe for second or third, or do you think you have some support too and could still pull this off?
I feel like at a certain point I did feel like I was playing for third place, but I feel like I just need to grow more confidence in the game that I played, because I do believe that I played a decent game. I played a game that could get me some votes, and so I'm going to work with what I did because I cannot go back on it now, and I'm going to do my best, and I show confidence, and I want to show confidence in what I did, and I want to show confidence in the game that I played. So hopefully I can pull out a first place, but I'm just very happy to be here. This is my first final tribal council, and it's just a really nerve-wracking but exciting experience.
Congrats.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
I want to interject a second. I don't think anyone in this game was really playing for second or third. I think everyone in this game was really playing to win, and I
was playing for third.
Even though Joanna says like at times she thought she was playing for third, I do think she could definitely pull out a few votes in this jury.
We both
I'd agree. Yeah.
We both said we see her definitely beating.
Yeah,
us.
I mean, I could just be naive. I've counted votes. I've definitely thought about whose votes are going where. But
I'd be surprised if anyone didn't get a vote. So, yeah.
All right.
Cool, that's my question for this portion.
Well, everyone can talk at every portion now.
Yeah. So I have like another question.
I have to make it quick.
All right. You know what? Yeah, I'll wait for the next section because it's gonna be like kind of a long one.
So are we all good with the outwit section?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, so the next section is outplay. So that is how did you deal with things within the game? So that's like tribe swaps. There were a lot of them, and the like different advantages and idols, and how the idols were set up this time, and different twists, and different things that the game threw at you, and how did you navigate through things that me and Regan gave to you for you guys to navigate through. So that's this next section. You have 20 minutes on the timer. Your time starts now.
All right, Joanna. I've been waiting for like I don't even know how long. I've been waiting a very, very long time to ask you this because this wasn't something I could talk to you about in the game, obviously. But
Okay.
so way back when we were on like I don't remember what the tribe's called. It was like one of the last like swaps for the merge, I think.
Oh,
Around
okay.
where Kenny got medevaced.
Nautilus.
Yeah. At that point, I just, I was having trouble trusting you. You weren't like replying in our alliance chat, so I had like gone around. I had thrown your name out, and like, I started like working up numbers to get you voted out, and I think had Kenny not been evacuated, you would have gone home that night. I'm like 78% confident in that statement. So did you have any idea that you were in danger that night? And if not, why should you still win, given that like you're basically here because of luck?
Yes. No thanks.
I think that coming into a tribal, there is no reason not to be nervous. I don't know. It was a while ago, so I'm going to do my best to remember like what was going on, right? So I do my best to like not be comfortable. That's kind of how I go into every single tribal because you're not comfortable unless you have an immunity necklace or if the immunity idol, like you are not safe. So I wasn't comfortable. I don't know if I suspected that you were throwing my name around, but I know for a fact that I was not comfortable going into that tribal. And I feel like it was a relief that Kenny got medically evacuated so we didn't have to deal with it. Does that answer, or should I?
So you had like a feeling, but there's nothing you could do about it. That's basically what you're saying?
I'm saying that I did not suspect that my name was being thrown out around at that point, but I don't go into tribal council thinking that I'm safe, thing that you can't do because that's how you get blindsided, and that like, like obviously it would still been a blindside at that point, but if I wouldn't have gone into that tribal council feeling like I'm totally fine, I'm gonna make it through, I'm gonna play the next day. I probably was like, it could be me, but I don't think it will, but it could be. So I feel like maybe part of it was just that I'm a lucky person who knows how to work with what she's got.
All right. It just got really quiet. Does anyone else have a question?
Other people that we haven't
yeah,
heard
I do.
yet. Let's.
I don't know if I'm muted or not.
No, you're good.
Okay. So similar to Andrew's thing there, from what I understand, when at the first swap, Joanna, me, you, and Andrew were on a tribe then too, and so was Nihi, actually. And if I wasn't being lied to, I think Nihi was saying Andrew was thinking of flipping, and the boot would have been you there as well if we'd ever gone to tribal.
That's true.
What if?
Andrew, do you know if this was the case for you?
Yeah,
Like, were
I
you thinking
actually
flipping August and?
I had been thinking about this for like a while. We never. The reason I brought up like the Kenny evacuation specifically is because that's the only time where we had actually lost the challenge. I would have had the opportunity to do that, and I was confident at that time that I had the numbers to do so. But had we gone tribal council earlier, I don't know. If that
Yeah,
makes any
so like,
sense.
how do you think you'd have navigated that portion, I guess, if we did lose on Nautilus 2.0? Or was it the first Nautilus? Yeah, the first time Nautilus existed.
This was
It was the
Okay.
first swap.
Very first swap. It was me, you, August, Nikki, and Andrew.
Well, I guess I don't know. It's really hard to run two scenarios side by side, I feel, because it did go one way, and that's the way that I know for a fact it went. But I'm going to try my best to just stick with me for one moment. So I think that at this point in my life, it was very busy. I had lacrosse and everything going on. So I think that I would have had to put faith in the people who I was aligned with and who I trusted that they would have told me what was going on. And then I would have had to kick it into high gear and try to figure out another plan of some sort. But I don't know exactly what else I would have done because I was not put in that position. And I can speculate all I want, but it's kind of difficult to say exactly what I've done because this isn't what happened. This is now, and that was before, and it didn't happen. So if you want me to try to speculate, I can go for days on what I could have done and what maybe I should have done, but I didn't. And this is where we are because I didn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, basically, like the bridge version of all of this is like I've been targeting you for a very long time during pre-merge. So I was actually honestly surprised that like by the time we had merged, like you voted to keep me during that first merge boot. Did you just not know about all this, or?
I did not know.
Okay.
Maybe if I had known, I wouldn't have done that. But I also was put in that position by the other people that I trusted, not necessarily because I trusted you the most. I definitely did not trust you the most in the nicest way possible. I thought that at certain points you were a bit of a loose cannon, and I do remember discussing like now is not your time to go, and I feel like later would have been more beneficial at that moment. But I did feel like we had a certain bond in a certain way, and if I was wrong, I was wrong, and it seems like I was, but I felt like at that moment that the people I trusted and the people I were aligned with, that it was best to vote to keep you at that moment. And we trusted that someone would flip and that we wouldn't have to go to rocks.
Yeah. All right.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So one of the big reasons I did go and work with Joanna is because I don't know if I specifically knew it was you, Andrew, but I did know her name was going around a lot in the pre-merge. And I wanted to work with her because I knew she was someone who was getting targeted and someone who I felt like I could work with despite not knowing her yet. And I think that helped her get into a position where she is now. And I think
Honestly,
she did a good job with that.
Honestly, I feel like thanks to you, Andrew, and you creating the alliance that you created, it helped Joanna because it helped myself and Jay get to know her better, and I started to trust her more, and we kept Joanna And the whole alliance was trying to stay together. I mean, Jay broke it up with Eloise, but it was like it was a unity thing. So that your creation of that alliance that we tried so hard to avenge you helped them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
like
that.
being put in that position with these two boys, I was managed to create those bonds that did protect me in the end. Like these people trusted me. They thought I was beneficial to keep, and I thought they were beneficial to keep, and it ended up benefiting me very well that I was put into that position and that I made an alliance with these guys. So even though my name was floating around, like meeting Jay was probably one of the best things that could have happened for this game. Like we formed such a fast bond, and like immediately we were like, I trust you, I want to work with you, and I won't write your name down. So I kind of knew that I had him by my side, and that kind of helped me stick around a little more, I feel.
Okay.
Does anyone else have questions
For me and Jay.
for anyone? Krista?
Well, no, my only question would be for Joanna, because I didn't really see a lot of your game and I missed the start of this hangout because, I don't know, I only saw
We didn't
you
miss
Steve.
much.
Can you tell me, like, any highlights of your game that I missed? Like, any moves that
so
you feel were yours, I guess.
So I guess highlights of my game would probably be, as I kind of said before, like forming that bond with Jay, and then eventually forming a very strong bond with Pat, and forming a very, like, maybe not quite a strong Nihi, but forming a bond with Nihi because it broke up a little bit. But you know, like I feel like I formed very strong bonds with people, and these people were kind of like the powerhouses, and I was able to step back a little bit and let them kind of take the full force of everything, I feel. So like when I was closely bonded with Pat. Like I adore Pat. We met in whatever tribe had the music video one, and like after that tribe, I'm like, I want to work with this kid who is older than me 1000%, but kid. But you know, and so like when we got split up, I was like, oh no, like this was an opportunity that I just wasted. But then we got reconnected, and I almost went to him, I feel like almost immediately, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you. I want to work together now. And I feel like kind of being able to, I kind of stepped it up at the merge, and I feel like maybe I should have done more before the merge, but I definitely stepped it up at the merge. And I found people that I could create these bonds with, and I found people who would be willing to protect me and willing to work with me like through the end. And I feel like it's really these social bonds and kind of how I fit into the alliance of stuff that kind of got me here, if that answers. I'm sorry, my nose is dripping.
Krista,
What?
can me and Nikki also answer that question?
Wait,
Our
what?
biggest highlights.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh,
Nikki,
yes.
go.
You want to go or me?
I don't care.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like I think you can say my biggest highlight was the Chelsea vote, because that leading up to that, I knew that the Alliance each had gems, and me, Jay, and Patrick all spoke about giving the gems to just one of us. And I remember I was joking around. I said, why don't you guys just give it to me? But then Patrick and Jay were really like, they wanted it. And then out of nowhere, Jay just said, we should just give it to me. And I was like, oh, I'm fine with that. And then next thing I know, Jay gives me his, Patrick gives me his. And then I went to Joanna because I needed one more. I needed one more to make the diamond. And I was like, hey, Joanna, I'll give you one of mine if you give me one of yours. She did. I got it. And the rest was from there. We figured out the Chelsea vote. And I wasn't going to use it unless Linus used his. And I mean, seeing that Linus voted for me was the best thing for me using it. And then after, I think that's my highlight, is because after that, after being a single vote to send someone home with that much power and convincing people to give me their stuff with that, like, no one voted for me after that. I've never gotten a single vote ever after that tribal council. I was only targeted with one tribal council after that, which was Patrick, the Billy vote out. And Joanna and Jay convinced Patrick to not target me and go for Krissa. So I feel like that's a big highlight, to So it shows my strategic game, but also my social game. Because it's not easy to do a big move and then try and not make that big move define you.
I think some of my biggest highlights, at first, looking at this idol twist, I was unconvinced that it would do anything and that anyone would care. But boy, was I wrong, because one of the first strategic moves I made in this game was I had formed a bond with Linus at the beginning, and Isaiah was getting voted out. Isaiah had given me his idol piece because he trusted me. I don't know. We were going to vote him out. But in good faith, I gave Linus that idol piece because he was going to be getting it if Isaiah had not given it to me. And I think that Olive Branch of Trust really paid off towards the merge because he didn't use that power on me. He specifically said I was exempt from it, whether that was like a truth or not. He flipped his vote because I had, I don't know if it's like directly because I extended an Olive Branch, but I am sure the thought was in his head that I was trustworthy because of that. Another highlight was really, really forming a bond with all the people on the, let me just pull up, I forget what tribe name it was. The Pandanus tribe with
Pandanus.
with Andrew and Kat and Nihi, and that was one of like the greatest tribes, I think. Like, I didn't even really want to get rid of Austin. Like, Austin I felt like would have been a really huge help in that game come merge, but the other name I heard was Joanna, and I had already plans in my mind that I wanted to work with her. And then another big highlight, I think, I did tell, like, all day that day with the Diamond vote, I was in Nihi's DMs and I was in Linus's DMs saying, we need to get rid of Chelsea. Chelsea needs to go. Chelsea is the biggest threat. I was in your DMs. You might have done it on your own, but I was in your DMs.
I want to just say right quickly for that. Yeah. You did say Chelsea once, and then you reverted onto Krissa. You wanted me to vote for Krissa, or you wanted me to vote for Carson, but you were strictly more on Krissa. And I made the Chelsea, like, I said, you know what, F it. I know they're going to be mad. I just voted for Chelsea. And I don't know if I told you that I did Chelsea.
You didn't tell me, but I had definitely
communicated
that I wanted that. And I definitely communicated that to Linus.
He did. I can confirm.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things I did was I put a target on Pat's back from quite a while. Like after Linus was voted out, Pat was the next biggest threat. I had talked about getting rid of Pat Tanihi from that moment on, that he needed to go, he needed to get out of there before he could beat us all. And that really paid off in the end. Do we have any? And obviously getting rid of Waleed, but have I explained why? Yeah, I have explained why I wanted to get rid of Waleed.
Oh, we were speaking.
Wait.
Oh.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh, if we're speaking about Waleed, there was one thing I did not mention. I don't know who was going to go that night, but Jay immediately said Waleed, and I was one of the biggest advocates for not Waleed. And me and Waleed did not speak at all before that. And then he started speaking to me like, why is Jay doing this? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to try to help you. But I couldn't help him. And then at the end of the day, before he got eliminated, he gave his idol piece to me. I didn't ask him for it. I just saw in my thing and said,
he didn't have one.
He gave it to me. That's why Krissa, and I was on call with Krissa when Monty was like, Waleed has no idol pieces. And that was because he gave it to me. And then that idol piece came to handy when Joanna gave me her 3 pieces. So, like, I want to put that out.
Yeah, that's fair. And I do want to also mention, it wasn't necessarily my move alone. It was Nihi and me working with Krissa, I think, really, really helped our game, because Krissa, she made the biggest move in the game. She flipped she did that, and I feel like I had definitely a part in Krista flipping and Krista thriving
Oh, for sure.
to the end of this game.
The secret alliance with Krista was whole James' idea because me and Chris were not the best of buddies at that point, but
I love
He
Krista.
wasn't my friend. I don't care what I was.
I have a
but
quick
he
question.
wasn't my
We have like
friend.
30 seconds. Oh,
I'm good.
who would have gone at Final Four if Crystal won immunity?
I would have voted out Nihi.
yeah.
I,
And
I would have voted out Nihi.
I would have had, I was going to campaign to Krista, who wanted Joanna.
I would have voted out Nihi.
I know.
Okay.
Big
All
person.
right.
Big moves.
But
The
you
end
did it right.
of the outplay portion. The final portion is outlast, which is how did the finalists put people on the jury that they thought would vote for them right now. So that's what the last 20 minutes is about. Your 20 minutes have started.
All right. I've been saving this question for this part. To all three of you, if you absolutely had to take away the R2 finalists and take like two people from jury that you would rather have sit next to you, who would those people be and why?
Easy for me. It will be Krista and Waleed. One, because Waleed, I love him to death, but I think that everyone can agree that he didn't speak to a majority of the people. He can agree that himself. And Krista would be because I think Krista herself wasn't too confident in the game that she played. And so if I had to sit beside someone who I knew played a good game, but she didn't believe that she could win, yeah, I would take her to the end. Though I love you, Krista, but me and Jay both said, like, Krista can beat us. And then Krista, you're over here saying, I don't want to go to the final three because I don't think I could beat you guys.
That's true, but yeah,
If I couldn't sit next to Nikki and Joanna, I would sit next to, if I had my choice, I would sit next to Krissa, and I would sit next to Carson. Krissa, because even though I do think I think she played a very strong game. I think I definitely have a chance against Krissa. And with Carson, he did try to make a deal with me his last dying day that I fully intended on working with, at least a little bit. I did tell Nihi that his name was thrown out, and I did tell Nihi that Carson threw his name out, and I was like, we need Carson, we get rid of Pat, we get rid of Carson right after. But if I couldn't sit next to Nihi, I would sit next to Carson for that reason, that I felt like I could trust him to
Carson named the Bad Content Alliance, so go Carson.
All right, Joanna?
Well, I guess I'm almost obligated to say I'd sit next to Pat because I did have a final L3 deal with him, and because I truly trusted him, and I really wanted to go to the end with him. Probably for personal reasons than for game reasons, but I did really want to be here with him. And I said from as long as I can remember that my ideal final three was Jay, Pat, and I. So if I had to replace Jay, I honestly have no idea, because the second that I started thinking about, I can actually make this merge point, like this is where I'm gonna be, it was me, Pat, and Jay in my mind. But I guess that if I had to take I guess if I had to take someone else who was kind of in the stride with me, I'd take Krista, I guess, because I feel like we played almost on the same level, and I feel like it'd be kind of a run to the top.
All right. I think it's like interesting that all three of you said you have sat next to Krissa, and Krissa isn't here right now, obviously.
He is.
I mean, like,
he made
not
the final three.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that we all say Krissa is because we voted her out for a reason. One, she asked. Two, she definitely had a fighting chance against us. She didn't really piss anyone off other than Billy when she flipped. and Carson left the game like, I'm voting for Krissa. I don't know how legit that was, but that's what he said. But if you take away the other two options, and Nikki and Joanna, then Krissa is definitely the third.
Yeah.
I think in all of our minds.
All right.
What do you think?
I guess on the flip side, who are some people you wouldn't want to sit next to at the end, and how did you make sure they didn't get there?
I'll go first. There were a few people I did not want to sit next to in the end. I didn't want to sit next to Pat specifically. He was a scary player. I love Pat. Voting him out was one of the hardest things I've had to do in any org. I was upset. I was very upset. It was a very sad moment. But I knew I couldn't sit next to him. I knew no one could sit next to him. And despite him saying like, "Oh, I would have had a shot against him," I don't think I would have. Chelsea was someone else that at the time where she left, I think needed to be the time where she left, or she could have run the table. She was a combination of strategic and social that was super deadly to this game. And as a third that I didn't want to sit next to was Billy. Billy, he didn't really he didn't play the strongest game, I don't feel, but he definitely was a social threat to win the game, because the people we were putting onto the jury were the people who were directly aligned with him. And even though I didn't want to, have the biggest part in taking Billy out specifically, because I wanted to keep Carson in that one time, but then they voted Carson out. I knew Billy, his time was coming regardless. And that's what I have to say.
I did not want to sit next to Billy in any way, shape, or form, because I felt like he played a game that could easily sweep mine like away under the rug. And we talked a total of 0 times, and he was a scary player to me. And we were on completely opposite sides the entire time, and I felt like I just wouldn't want him here at all. And then I guess Linus too, I wouldn't want to sit next to you, because I feel like you made some big moves, and like I respect that totally. And I feel like if I were on the jury and you were here, I'd probably vote for your big swap. So I don't want you anywhere near the final 3 with me. And I guess we only needed 2, right? Or do I need to pick a third person?
No, I just want
However many you want.
Okay, that's my 2.
Okay, well, what I find funny is that I have 3, and my 3 kind of are the 3 that I use my advantages on, which would be Chelsea, Billy, and Patrick. After we voted out Brian, I was told by Billy that Patrick was leaking stuff. Now, obviously, this is false. I think it was false. But since then, I was very wary of Patrick, because I knew that Patrick had bonds with the other side. So I was always keeping Patrick like there. But I was going to go loyal for strong. I didn't want to seem disloyal, but then when Patrick came after me, it just became a perfect opportunity to cut him. Like Andrew, I called you Andrew this whole entire season, Jay. Jay.
That means you love me.
Yeah, like every confessional, I've typed Andrew when I meant Jay. Jay, me and him, we had the same interest. We need to cut Patrick. And at that point, as I explained, I planned to cut Patrick while also planning to cut the tiebreaker. Chelsea. Everyone loves Chelsea. No one can say they don't love Chelsea. I think the only person who brought up Chelsea's name to be voted out was you, Andrew. And
yeah,
immediately when you said it, Joanna was like, I do not want to vote for Chelsea. And then in my PMs, Jay was like, I don't want to vote for Chelsea. And I was like, I don't want to vote for Chelsea. So I knew Chelsea is like, damn, she got the social game. And so when it came to having to use a vote to take out one person, though I loved her, you had to cut Chelsea. It was the best thing to do. And then I guess Billy. Billy was definitely a big name. After Chelsea went, he kind of stopped playing. That's how I got it. That he kind of stopped a little bit. But Billy still had the best chance of winning because Chelsea was on the jury. Carson was going to be on the jury. Like the people that we were, like Jay said, people that we were putting on the jury were friends with Billy. And you can say he was the underdog. So, like, just making sure that Billy didn't go further than he did was like what I had to accomplish.
I do want to give a quick honorable mention to Linus, because I wouldn't not want to sit next to Linus. I would have loved to be at the end with Linus, but he became too unpredictable, and I don't know if he actually believed I was going to vote for Carson at that vote, but he did throw his vote onto Carson. I don't know if he believed it or not, but I like to think he did.
Honestly, I do. I wanted to work with you, Linus. That was the honest truth. I wanted to work with you, and then the whole Chelsea incident happened, and I was like, I don't know if he wants to work with me. But I definitely kept my options open with you. Like, I would love to be in the end with you because I like to align myself with strategic minds, hence Jay. Like, that was my best buddy. And Linus is like why you were like I think you were the first one we chose for the most strategic. So.
Oh, thanks. I thought I was just like being really stupid and going insane, but I'll take strategic as an alternative word for that. And like Jay, I didn't know if you were voting Carson or not. I figured it was likely me originally, since that was the only day you and Nihi didn't come to me talking. So that's why like last minute I messaged you being like, hey, what can I do to vote with you guys? Because I thought I had to change something.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I didn't know if it was actually getting changed or whatnot, but figured it was worth a try, and it sounded like I was gone if you were voting me anyways. So yeah.
How much time left, Monty?
8 minutes.
Can we get like closing statements?
Wait, I have just one more question. So, you guys brought up like the round where I went home, where I was like pushing hard for Chelsea because I didn't want to just like vote Carson because I felt that'd be too obvious, like in the case of Hind Muniel, which ended up actually happening, and yeah, I'm here now, so I sort of like want to dwell on that a little bit because I never really felt I got the closure. Like because I feel it could have been just as easily like your name, Jay, or like Nehe's or Joanna's. Like
I have a response to that. So.
All right.
Yeah, if you'd like me to elaborate.
Yeah, please do.
When you were voted out, I was okay with you leaving. I felt you were someone that was taking up taking up a loyalty on Nihi's side, and I wanted to be Nihi's number one.
Wait, can I just interject real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been more loyal to you than Nihi. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Well, that's. I mean, I wanted to work with Nihi.
Me and Nihi had just like played a season, and
yeah,
I ended up like stabbing you in the back there. Yeah. So if it came down between you and Nihi, I would have gone with you.
That's why I thought you would work with Nihi, because you were in the same game. But other than that, I knew it wasn't going to be me because I still had, at that moment, I still had my ins with Linus and I had my ins with Billy. So even though I knew Carson potentially had an idol, I was okay with voting for him because I knew it wouldn't be me, and it probably wouldn't have been anyone I didn't want to see leave at that moment. Because
and
Billy was targeting you aggressively.
He was.
I know.
He knew you.
I know better than anyone else.
Yeah. Billy told me.
Yeah. But Jay,
Mhm.
like, just a quick question, because out of three of, like, out of you, Nahi, and I'm really combining them now. You, Nahi, and Joanna, you seem to be one, like, connected the most with the other side. Had we all stuck with Chelsea, would they have just played the idol for Chelsea? Was there, like, a mole or someone?
I wasn't gonna tell them I was voting for. If we would have voted Chelsea, I wasn't gonna go tell them we were voting Chelsea. I just knew that it was your name on the chopping block, and it wouldn't have been my name on the chopping block. I wasn't like gonna rat you out, but
Okay,
Andrew, would you have told me it was Chelsea that round though? Because I was like in that alliance.
I think I would have told you. I would have told you this, I think.
Because I know, like, Linus, you gave up, like, that was my idol piece that you used to, like, make the idol, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had told you that we were voting Carson. So now thinking about if the vote had been Chelsea, it wouldn't have really made much difference because you guys just would have, like, played the idol on Chelsea instead.
And I would have told Linus. I wouldn't have considered that ratting you out because I thought Linus was working with us.
Yeah, I thought, like, he was too.
Yeah.
And there he goes. All right. So Nihi, do you want to, like, answer that?
No.
I mean, what I feel like what I want to just say is that
Maybe.
what was just I forgot what you said.
My question was, like, the round I went home, it could have just as easily been, like, your name or Joanna's or Jay's. Like,
Well,
did you do anything to make sure it wasn't your name?
Yes.
Taking precautions.
Yeah. Once again, Chelsea. Everyone loved her. I didn't want to do Chelsea that round, and I think my connections were with Chelsea and Billy. I made sure with Billy that he wasn't voting for me. He was voting for you. He wanted you big time.
I know.
And so I knew that I didn't know who the mole was, but I knew it was either Linus or Patrick. And so it wasn't a surprise that the idol was used on you. But it was
not on me.
Like, yeah, I mean, against you. But I think for what my plan was, I didn't want to lose you. But if we lost you, it wasn't the end of us. But I wanted to vote for someone that I didn't think they were going to vote for. And I guess because Linus was in the alliance, that's why they voted for you. But
yeah, like, thinking about now, it probably won't matter, like, who we vote for, because, like, Linus would have just told them.
And that's because I put Leslie, like, you added Linus to the alliance, and then he was like,
Linus tried to frame it on Pat.
Wait, hold up real quick.
Wait, I tried to frame it on Pat?
Someone tried to frame it on Pat.
Oh, I was just playing dumb, like, I don't know what happened.
Billy blamed it on, ratting?
No, it was Billy. It was Billy that blamed it on Pat. That was ratting. That was another reason we need to get rid of Billy, because he was tight with Pat.
Exactly, yes. Like, towards the ending of the game, Patrick and Billy's relationship was forming. I was trying to form that relationship with Billy, but then I realized Patrick had him. Like, they both kind of gave away that they had each other.
Yeah,
so
I knew that Pat and Billy had a thing going on because of when he tried to get me to vote Nihi, and I was like, why would we do that? He's like, oh, because Billy would vote for us. I'm like, why would I vote with Billy? And it was, yeah. Anyway, go.
Do you think, other than Waleed, there are any jurors here who, while in the game, trusted you more than they trusted Patrick?
Okay.
Or would have gone to the end with you over, or not Patrick, sorry, Jay.
Jay.
Who trusted you more than they trusted Jay?
That's the thing. I am very good at playing both sides, and I get scolded for that. every game that I play, they call me a snake. And so, like, and Billy called me a snake when I voted out Chelsea. Like, I tried so hard to not play both sides. So I didn't try to, I guess, devote myself onto the other side. I wanted more to just form a relationship with you. Jay, he was just deep in there. You all wanted to work with Jay. He was just like, just deep, all up in your grill. So, like, so I say maybe they weren't as close to me. I know Krista wasn't close to me because she didn't try to speak to me. And I guess, but I tried to form that relationship with you, Krista. Towards the ending, I tried to definitely form a relationship with you. I
don't think it's because we're not close. I don't talk to anyone. I don't even message my own mother. So we live together, but like still.
Like, yeah, I feel like I did the best that I could socially, but at the end of the day,
it just seems like everyone was saying they trusted Jay more than they trusted you.
And I don't think I needed them to trust me that much because I had people
because they like you.
I can't say no one really likes me.
Oh, I like you.
I like you, Nikki.
I thought everyone liked you.
We love
you.
I
would give Austin updates on the game. He'd be like, "Why are you working with me?"
You're done with
the end. So, because they have asked so nicely, we will give each finalist a 1 minute closing statement.
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute.
I can't that fast.
So we will start with Jay. Your time is on.
I would like to thank the jury that was here for being here, and the jury that couldn't be here for hopefully watching this FTC afterwards. I do want to say that I think what was pointed out here, that the strength of my game was the social connections I had within my alliance and the people I wasn't working as closely with, like Linus and Billy. I don't think that, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm bad at these closing opening statements. But that was my strength, because especially with Linus, when he would tell me things about the game, Krissa, especially being the glue between Krissa and Nihi, and Nihi and Joanna both saying in this final tribal council that like they adored me, they were my friend, they wanted to come here to the end with me no matter what. There you go.
All right. So, Joanna, you're up next in alphabet. So your time is on.
Well, thank you guys so much for hearing me out and listening to everything I had to say. Thanks you for playing with me, and thank you, Monty, for hosting. I would just like to say that I think that really the bonds that I've made with people such as Jay and such as Nihi really helped get me to the end and help protect me and move me to the place that I am now. And I just think that I played the game that I played, and I will stick by the game that I played. And I think that I have to be proud of it, because that's the thing that's the game that I decided to play. And I'm very happy to be here with Nihi, and I'm very happy to be here with Jay. And I feel like I hope that some of these friendships that I've made can last for a while. And I think that that is more important to me than that is very important to me. And that is what I want to get out of this game. And winning would just kind of be the cherry on top. So I hope that you do consider voting for me, even if you don't think I played just necessarily.
All right. And last but not least, we have Nihi. Your time is on.
Okay. This is what I want to say. I started playing orgs 2 years ago, and I sucked. I'm starting to learn from my mistakes. I'm starting to get better. Maybe my social game is not the best. People really don't connect to me personality-wise. I did the best I could, but I do feel like you cannot regard the strategic game, because I had a hand, and I feel like that's just so horrible to say, but I did have a hand in how this game went. I was on top of things. I was not being targeted. I feel like that should be social itself. I I worked very hard to get here. It's my first final, like to plead my case. I'm not the best at these things, obviously, as you can see, but I really hope that you can vote for me because I played my hardest. Maybe not the best. Well, I think I played the best.
All right. And that is it. So thank you, everyone, for an amazing season. Congratulations, finalists. It's been a wild ride, but you guys have made it all this way. Proud of you all. And thank you, jury, for making this an exciting season through and through. Either your host chat or my PMs are now open to take votes. You will have until Sunday at the normal time, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, to cast your vote for a winner. This is the person who you want to win Survivor Bedarra Island. You may no longer discuss your votes in the chat. You cannot go for people or go against people. You can just debrief, but no more saying who you're voting. And I will see you all tomorrow night. So congratulations, everyone.